Most Survivor rewards are relatively tame, featuring contestants enjoying a meal or a new activity. With that said, a small portion of these rewards turn into absolute insanity, whether through production's means or because of the contestants' crazy antics. I don't know about you, but nothing better fits the first entry on this list than Ethan and Lex awkwardly parading around an entire African village with zero clue about really anything. This was the final 9 reward challenge where Ethan picked Lex to join him in what can only be described as the most bamboozling activity the two have ever done. The reward allowed them to barter 2 goats to locals for whatever they wanted. Only, it wasn't as simple as that. The truck ride into the village was several hours long, with the goats constantly slamming into the duo. The two then had to get the goats off, which was basically an immunity challenge in and of itself. Nevertheless, Ethan and Lex eventually trade their goats to a kind man, offering them 1,600 shillings. It sounds like a good deal until the man takes the goats and makes an immediate beeline towards the butchers for a 400 shilling profit. Things only go from bad to worse at the restaurant. They both order fries and some beverages with an army of interested onlookers. Unfortunately, this was the first proper meal they had on the show, and it was really greasy. It runs through Ethan, he goes to the toilet, and whatever happened in that cubicle stays in that cubicle. Things only spiral more into the chaotic abyss afterwards, however. The guys realise they need to bring back goods for the rest of the tribe, but after they meal they only have a few hundred shillings left. To refill their budgets, Ethan pulled a prehistoric Austin and sold off his hat, clothing, and not the microphone, Ethan. Despite everything, this reward seemed fantastic. Even Ethan noted it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where he was able to experience a vastly different economy and culture, although some of the experience may be remembered by Ethan and Lex for all the wrong reasons. And now we're into the next step with the final 6 reward challenge, where Angelina almost fell to her death, you guys. In this final 6 reward, Angelina, Nick and Mike White were treated to a meal with cake and wine, but Angelina didn't want to waste precious time. She got her Jabeni trio to work and join her in the search for the hidden immunity idol. Angelina knew it was around the location of the reward because she had a hidden immunity idol clue, but couldn't remember the specifics because she had lost it. In the meantime, Mike decides he'll have his cake and eat it too, pun not intended, and begins stumbling through the forest with his glass of wine while doing his bare minimum to help. To be honest, Mike is really the star of this insane reward, with his klutzy antics, as well as swearing at every branch he walks into. It's absolutely amazing. Perhaps the most ridiculous outcome of this exchange is that Mike, despite being drunk, actually finds a missing idol clue, and is the main voice of reason on how to get the idol. Thanks to Mike's instructions, when he wasn't chugging alcohol, Angelina got the ladder set up. In fear of falling about 2 feet, she originally enlists Nick to get the idol, before realising if Nick gets the idol, it's technically his, and he doesn't have to give it to her. So one life-risking ladder climb later, and this iconic rewards ends in voila, an idol. And now on to the most recent season on this list, Survivor 44. This was the final 11, aka that round. Franny Marin won the challenge, giving her and her fan club immunity. As a result, the losing tribe of 5 had to vote for one of the 4 not immune. But that's part of a different 20-minute discussion. Let's get back to the winning tribe. The contestants get to enjoy PB&J, but there's another layer to the dish. After the contestants finish eating their sandwich and the paper, and it turns out the birdcage twist has come to roost once again. Instead of there being the standard 1 key, there were 10s. Hidden in the birdcage was an unknown advantage, and 3, 2, 1, let the craziness begin. All the contestants hurriedly grab keys with hyper-energetic confessionals. My favourite part is Kane having immense Dungeons & Dragons PTSD, desperately looking for the keys only to have them snatched away. Despite modern Survivor wanting to get to the point as quickly as possible, this reward goes on and on. Many contestants just don't have the correct key, with at least a dozen being thrown to the wayside. Finally, after a marathon for all the contestants running around the island, Heidi opens the birdcage and obtains the steal a vote power. And if you're a subscriber, unlike 89% of people watching this channel, you'll know my negative opinions on that vote controlling advantage. Nevertheless, this was by far one of the craziest moments in modern Survivor, with everyone frantically running around without a clue of what will actually happen. Now, the prior 3 discussion points all have a big explosive moment that creates the madness, but the Survivor South Pacific Mover Award can be best described as death by 1,000 cuts, especially for a certain young lady. The final pre-merge challenge was for both immunity and reward. The reward allowed the contestants to see the premiere of the new movie, Jack and Jill, with incredible reviews to date. In the challenge, half of the contestants were blindfolded, while the other half cold. The contestants then went up a hill to fetch a pail of water. Now, where have I heard that before? Through some miracle, Apollo wins the challenge, Ozzy says hi to the wall with his foot, and the family of 6 get their outing to the cinema. To be honest, it's not a bad reward. The snacks are unlimited, the seats look comfy, and Brandon isn't even threatening to urinate on the rice this time. Now, this is one of those movies that try to be quote-unquote so bad that it's good, with cringy writing and basic humour. In spite of this, the Apollo members, particularly Coach, try their best to tie the message of this movie back to the unity of their tribe. Everyone does their best to laugh along, because this is a sponsor of the show at the end of the day. Enter Sophie. Sophie in Survivor South Pacific did whatever she felt like, so you'll have these jarring scenes of someone like Albert cracking up, while Sophie is hanging on for dear life. If you're looking for insanity, 2 women brawling in an old celebrity's abandoned mansion in the middle of Samoa takes a top spot for me. This featured during the final 9 of Heroes vs Villains in the shuffleboard competition. Nevertheless, the 9 contestants were divided into 3 groups of 3, and Colby gets his first individual challenge win since season 2. Colby alongside Amanda plus Danielle arrive at the Robert Louis Stevenson's mansion, which has now been turned into a museum. But this isn't just a history lesson, it's also Survivor. Last Tribal, the heroes were blindsided and ended up in the minority after the infamous JT blindside. As a result, Amanda was searching every crevice for a hidden immunity idol clue. Every scene in the tour involved Amanda randomly touching appliances or opening things that definitely aren't meant to be opened. At the end of the tour, Colby and the girls are in bed watching Treasure Island. Danielle digs deep and finds the clue, only for Amanda to spot her hiding it and yanks it off her. This once relaxing reward now devolved into an outright war between the women, with yelling, grappling, an MP3 glass smash sound, and verbal insults ensuing. Eventually the 2 reach a standstill, with Danielle begging Superman in a fat suit to side with her in the idol clue fiasco. This then causes perhaps the most hilarious response from Colby.
I was watching Treasure Island.
You mean to tell me you have 2 women beating the lining out of each other in the corner of the room and your eye doesn't drift away to investigate what is going on? Like, at all. Eventually Colby sides with Danielle and the problems are resolved. Well, until the 3 get back to camp, where Colby, yet again, doesn't acknowledge the Danielle and Amanda beef. Instead, he complains to the rest of the tribe about the size of the bed and how it barely fits him and the girls. To help me sleep even better, make sure to drop a sub if you enjoyed the content. On screen now is a video where I discuss the worst part of all 44 Survivor seasons. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But stay safe, have a good day, and peace!